Hello, everyone, and welcome to Eternal Mooncast, the streaming show all about Sailor Moon fan theories. We cover everything from the prominent to the obscure in the Mooniverse. I'm your host, Michi, with my co-host, Selene, and joining us tonight is Simone. Simone is a lifelong illustrator and cosplayer who is a Texas native and Eternal Moody. Welcome, Simone.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. I'm very excited to be here.
We're excited to have you. Before we start, as I say every time, guys, first, a quick Mooney disclaimer. We would like to remind everyone that these are just our personal opinions. We don't in any way represent Toy or the Sailor Moon and intellectual property. We invite you to join us tonight during the stream. And we always ask you to join us on our Discord, which you can find in our links below for discussions. Tonight, we delve into the topic of redemption or desperation.
All right, which I am so ready to talk about this because I feel like this is something that happens in every single season of Sailor Moon.
Just about.
But it's for very varied reasons. But I thought it would be fun to go down the list of their circumstances to understand what situation it is for each of them.
I think one of the one thing that people should also be reminded of, like, even though we are talking about redemption, the villains only get redemption in the anime. There is no redemption in the manga. It is, you're a villain, you're dead.
It's wham, bam, thank you, ma'am.
None. All this redemption villains get in the anime, they don't get it in the manga. Naoko was like, no. She was like, bye. Like, they don't get that. Well, it's very interesting we talk about it because the redemption is anime only. And you can't, the only like redemption you might get in the manga is the four kings, but they're dead.
Yeah.
They just have to be like, they're not evil anymore, but
they actually never were. Oh,
yeah. We lovingly on the show call them the Pocket Rocks.
Yeah, they're called the Pocket Rocks, and
I think that's a pretty great name because that's about all they do. Respectfully, lovingly, that's about it.
But that's all they like. There's nothing in the manga. There's nothing. Those are the only characters that get like their soul cleansed. Everybody else is just...
No, and while the Four Kings honestly need to be an episode of their own, that is an episode that's a long time been coming.
Yeah,
but let's talk about the queen herself of the first season. Let's talk about Beryl, because I feel like manga to anime, she got two totally different interpretations.
Oh, completely. She's a whole different person.
The thing is she's the only villain who actually doesn't get a redemption in the anime.
I mean, I guess as well, when you think about how did she go down to begin with?
Yeah, because that's the thing. She was just a servant, I believe, or was she?
She was a peasant. Was a peasant looking up at the prince, like, and I'm like, bam. He got a princess, and she's from the moon.
Yeah, petty motivation.
That's actually funny. But you're right. So she was a peasant, and she was deeply in love with the prince, and she would watch him from like behind the pillars, and I know was like super in love with him. Yeah, okay, that makes it not cute. You always
man was a stalker. At least Usagi, when she was peeping, she actually introduced herself. Usagi was like,
but it's interesting just to think because she was beautiful, like Queen Beryl, even in her evil form, she's gorgeous. So it's like she could have probably had anybody else she wanted.
But she fell in love with a fictional man, like most of us do. I love your face, Simone. You're like,
where's the lie?
You have to say it out loud.
Where's the lie?
Oh my god! But here is the one I wanted. Let's see.
The amount of books I read, I was like, can I have that? No.
Okay. Oh, but these are the two. Because look at the wild. Even in the manga, it is two wildly different visual examples.
Yeah.
She went through some stuff. She did the dye your hair when you're really angry over a guy.
I mean, most girls go red in their villain era.
Yeah, she got rid of the apron. She hit him with the dropways.
Which I actually really like her peasant outfit. I would cosplay that.
Cosplay
yeah, that's super cute.
All
It's
three
the
of us
adornment
It's like
cosplayers.
a cosplay.
We just show up and then we do the Spider-Man meme.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, no, like she didn't get any redemption. She was desperate, but she was desperate for love.
Yeah. And was it really even love, you wonder? You know,
Mm.
it always felt more like an
It was an
obsession,
obsession.
like a fixation.
Mm.
And even when he, you know how it goes. If she loved him, she wouldn't make him a mindless pawn for her to control just to be by her side. You know what I mean? That's not love.
Yeah. I would say,
Well,
oh, go for it.
go ahead.
I was just
Finish what your
gonna
thought
say
was.
the desperation is there, but I feel like she is missing a quality that the rest of the villains who are redeemed have. It's like whenever you see a picture of somebody and it's not quite finished.
Yeah.
Well, it's because her love, in quotation, was an obsession. But he didn't even know who the fuck she was.
Yeah.
And Damian didn't know who the hell she was. This was just some woman who they don't really go into if Beryl worked in the castle or whatever. But like she watched him from afar. She had an obsession. She was in love with him. And you have to realize there's also another concept that you have to put in for her is on Earth, they were told to distrust the moon. They were told to not go near the moon people. So it was almost like, I almost want to say it was like in line with like religion kind of thing. Like one of those, like, that's the way it felt for me for her. And I feel that hatred for the moon kingdom also got like twisted because they're not supposed to trust the moon. They're not supposed to be near the moon. That's what they're taught from when they're little. That's what they preach, essentially. So she's one of these fanatics who believes that.
And then
And
her
then also is in love with this prince that has no clue who she the fuck she is.
So the point is that racists don't get redemptions.
What?
Yeah, I said what I said.
Absolutely. You said it out loud.
But
True.
even in that note, you feel bad for her. You do.
Mhm.
But we don't ever really get fed this like idea that what she wanted was something different than what she was getting.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Once she gets the power and once she becomes Beryl and once she goes down this path of taking more power to get what she wants, we never get fed this narrative that, well, if circumstances were different, I could do this instead. So she's
Correct.
like, no, give it to me. I want it. And I don't
Mhm.
care how many sand people I have to kill to get it.
Mhm.
Or what do they call?
Which part?
One's on Tatooine.
Oh, what are they
Oh.
called? Oh my god, my cat's name is Naboo. I should know this.
Oh,
Literally, my cat's name is literally Naboo after Star Wars.
yes.
Fucking right. Raiders, yeah.
Yes, thank you. Rest in peace to the children and the women too.
Oh, put
Mhm.
to spades. Thank you for coming in with that.
Yeah, thank you. But
yeah,
that's the energy.
that is the energy of her because she is ultimately, I think, yeah, the only one we really see of the big baddies who Queen Helena we'll get to in a minute.
Also petty motivations. I said what I said.
But we're gonna fight on stream.
Could be some good points, so I kind of want to hear it.
As a Nehelenia cosplayer,
As of recently, I am also a Helena cosplayer. So I
Fuck yeah,
totally,
let's go.
I get it. I get it. She at least gets a redemption. Beryl doesn't.
because but like we've been saying, for Beryl, you're not given anything. You're not given any other aspect of her. You don't feel sorry for her.
No.
Because again, she's a creepy stalker who was in love with a man who didn't even know she existed. And she took power and became a servant of this evil and killed a lot of people. She started a war
Literally.
and she destroyed everything. She destroys all of it to the point where Saturn has to restart everything. Like,
Yeah.
that's how bad she fucked shit up
Oh,
during the moon times. Like, she stopped the Silver Millennium with her war that she started and turned these people against the Moon Kingdom when the Moon Kingdom was just like chilling and they're like, oh, our princess loves your prince.
That's
That's it.
nice.
We haven't done anything else.
They were chilling. Oh, it's always like that.
they were
man.
dancing.
They were at peace. So it's
Mm.
like, And I think
But
that's probably why she doesn't get a redemption in the anime, because there was nothing for them to give her.
especially when you think about the redemptions for the knights that we actually are getting, how much we're going through with Nephilim. And it's hard to have her have any kind of redemption when they're turning against her. Is their redemption? She has to remain the tyrant. So that way we can sympathize with these people more for being under her servitude. So she does, wow, I don't know. Do I feel more bad for her now that I realize that this narrative was written so against her? I don't know. Probably not, but
I mean, the only one who
more
really
thought than
gets one is
usual.
Nephilim, because Jedi just gets offed.
Like, was it the plane?
Zoe,
Did the plane do it? I remember if it's the plane.
I mean, Zoisite and Malachite never really turn their backs on Beryl. Zoisite
but
just happens.
you
You
feel
feel
sorry for the
sorry
love
for
story.
Zoisite because he dies in his man's arms.
Yes.
Yeah.
We all
Man.
sorry there.
Wait,
So during Beryl's arc, the only one who does like a redemption is Nephilim by falling in love with Naru, because the knights don't actually get redemptions. Like, even so in Crystal, they tried giving them redemptions that they were not supposed to get.
Oh, yeah.
Crystal went off the rails in that first season compared to the manga, and I actually had a problem with that. Because I was like, Genji was supposed to die at that moment. Like, when he was supposed to die, and I was like, oh, I'm ready, he's gonna die. This is where he dies. And then he doesn't. And then you've got the knights gathered up and this and that, and then they flatten him with a rock.
Which is like the most insulting way to go.
I was so freaking angry. I've never been so angry. I was like, you should have just killed them when they were supposed to have died, instead of making me hope all hopes that you're going to somehow change the Sailor Moon series to keep them alive so that they can be with the scouts. No, meteorite, essentially. Like the dinosaurs, that's how they went.
That's so sad.
They are fossils. So.
Yeah. Back to stone you go.
I guess she
Pocket
was
rocks.
we have great little fun terms for our favorite characters here.
Yeah. I'm going to start adopting these. These are
The
fantastic.
pocket rocks were kicking rocks. So.
Because he can keep them in his pocket. They're all in that cute little case that he can just slide
That's
into his
true.
pocket.
His little tiny therapists in a box.
Yeah, but I'm still mad that in the manga, she never, even in Crystal Tokyo, they don't get to come back.
Oh,
That they mentioned that she used to seize the pocket rocks. Like, she's met them and she's like felt their spirits and things like that, but they never get to come back.
yeah.
What kind of horseshit is that with how many times the scouts have been resurrected?
So many.
Is it because they don't have star seeds? Let me not get into that. That might be too.
Well, no, they would have had like crystals of power because they represented the north, south, east, and west of the planet.
Touche.
They were the 4 heavenly kings.
Maybe she
So they would have had some.
Maybe she said, this is just too hetero. Let's just get rid of some of these for a minute. And let's just move from this part of their life.
No, all women. It's fine.
Bring in the lesbians in the 3rd season. It's great.
Let's imply some stuff with Venus and Mars when they make this no man pact. Let's just.
God, talk about what I'm
Let's
excited for in Cosmos.
Because they had a glimpse of it.
They did.
I had to stop watching all the Cosmos trailers. I'm like, I can't. As if I don't know what happens. I just don't want to see anything.
As long as they follow the manga, I'm.
But they might not. They might go off the rails. Did you guys see the tweet from Naoko Sensei saying that she's thinking about making a new Sailor Scout?
I get it, but I still don't necessarily think that we're gonna get. Do you think that she'd make a whole thing, or maybe give us like a short Sailor V run type dealy?
Oh, I would love a Sailor V run.
Something really short.
I don't understand why they haven't done a Sailor V run. It's already written.
Cursed! You're cursed. Never will you find love. You're cursed to never find love. This is a message for children in 2023. Cursed.
I'll deal with my fictional men. Thanks. I'm married, but I still am like, I'll deal with my fictional.
Yeah, that doesn't count.
Oh, I wanted to also, if you guys have any last thoughts on the pocket rocks before we continue on for going over all the big villains.
And like I said, I think the reason why Beryl does not get one is because they never give us anything to sympathize with her.
Petty motivations.
No. No.
But the thing is they didn't even try to make up anything.
It was just inexcusable.
Oh, but I'm wondering the question is were they trying to follow the manga at that point with the no redemption thing? And then they were like, that seems a little dark. Let's, as we go into our further series, we're going to give them redemption.
They threw so much stuff into the first season that I feel like maybe I don't know, maybe they just weren't focused on her because she was that season's big bad as opposed to a subordinate. Because especially in the anime, when there's less of a distinguishment between her and Meteora? No, what's her name?
Yeah,
Talia.
When that Meteora, that's Star versus the Forces of Evil. Sorry.
No worries.
There's less of a distinguishment between those two characters. I remember growing up for a long time. I did not realize that this was not just one person talking to some goo fire, but in fact was being also manipulated by this dark entity. But this dark entity, it's like we can get to the wise man, doom phantom stuff in a minute, but it's that similar concept with the anime's first delivery is some of this was hard to separate. This evil mass of negaverse energy and Beryl felt so synonymous to me. Like you said, they never really gave her or us the chance to see her get redeemed like that.
Because she really wasn't involved.
She just sat here doing this
much
for
of her. She was just
all of us know it. It's the 90s. It's like she just rubbed her crystal ball and that was it.
Yeah.
That's all she did.
Pandemic times.
And then yell at the subordinates, and she'd yell at Jedi the most, though. Jedi got so manhandled before he died.
Oh, you know what?
Dang.
You know where Fox, have you seen PGSM live action?
You only once, and it was a while back.
So I honestly think they redeemed Beryl. Look, my queen.
Wait,
my actual queen.
Oh my god.
Yeah, she served.
I'm sorry. This is giving. It's giving Bowie.
She ate and left no crumbs.
Like she is fantastic as an actress too. She embodied Beryl. She killed it.
So when you say that you feel like they redeemed her, I mean, as spoilerlessly as you can, because now I feel like I really need to go back and do this. What do you feel like really gave her the light that she needed in her character?
She had more of a backstory in that one. She spoke more. You felt for her a little bit more, like with her, because they do express that she was in love with Endymion and how she was jaded and stuff like that. With she just had more personality.
That dress has more personality. I'll tell you that.
God,
God, I feel sad.
She comes, it's great. It's like it's Queen Beryl. It's like, hey, it's gonna be Queen Beryl, and then she comes on, and you're just like, excuse me, where has this been my entire life?
Yes, absolutely.
Honestly, I would love a cosplay group and do all the versions of Beryl.
Oh, that would be so good.
Big giant flower.
I think that outfit's but I've never seen anybody do the peasant Beryl.
Yeah. That little adornment on the waist is super cute. I love that.
So cute. But yes, but highly recommend PGSM. We always highly support it on the show, so definitely recommend it. But it's not that she gets redeemed; it's that she is a better villain quality.
Yeah,
in PGSM, I guess would be how
she's not as flat of a character.
Right. Like when she goes down, it's one of those things where you know that she deserved it, but you're also like, damn.
Yeah.
That sucks.
One other reason she could have not gotten a redemption is because she was in love with Endymion, and Naoko was like, nope, Usagi gets no competition for Endymion.
No. Endymion gets all the competition in the world, but anyway, that's...
No, they seem to care a lot more, because also, this is what one of the generals look like.
What?
Oh, yeah, you need to watch it. It's so
I feel like
good,
such a fake fan. How did I...
That one's kunzite.
Like, the
Wow.
generals are just like, sir, like in general, this woman just
Look at her.
she knew what she was doing and she knew she
Wow.
was fabulous.
They
So
said, "What's your
And
character
her voice
motivation?"
was like butter.
Wow.
I
Like,
love
it
her.
was so smooth and like villainous, and
That's incredible.
But yeah,
So
highly
she looks-
recommend.
Wow. Wow. Oh my god. Yeah. Absolutely.
It's crazy, but
she's a
yeah,
very well-known actress in Japan too.
which
Yeah.
is fun because that's the Sailor Moon equivalent of Power Rangers.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's giving Bing Rita Repulsa.
Yes,
Mm.
that is exactly. It's giving Rita Repulsa in the best possible way.
Yes, because I love me some. Don't even get me started. She's got a recent redesign in the comics that is
Ooh.
not appropriate for me to say on a live stream.
Oh, but yes, so that's I always like to bring up PGSM just because it is underknown, and I will say at least they gave time to Queen Beryl in that
Yeah.
one because the whole show only is the first season.
Yeah.
Because apparently it didn't have enough popularity, and you're like,
You
you
know how
did
that
42
goes.
episodes and there's not enough popularity? What?
Well,
Mhm.
me and Celine are like, we'll never let this die.
Never. Never.
Never.
Literally never. Mm-mm.
Because they had amazing actresses. Like, and what's great is the actresses who played the Inner Scouts, they're still friends. They still meet up and stuff like that and hang out, and they had such a good team. But those actresses now, I'm like, you could not play those roles again. I'm so
Okay.
beautiful as they are. I'm like, damn it.
All right. Thing last before season 1 before we move on to season 2.
There is no redemption for the Doom and Gloom girls because they're awful. They're fabulous, but they're awful, and they exist to be awful, and they exist to die. That's it.
That's a good point.
They're awful.
There,
Mamoru gets a redemption in season 1 too.
Mhm.
Mamoru gets a redemption in season 1 too. Because he turns evil.
oh, he does turn evil.
Oh yeah,
I
especially in the
forgot.
anime where they just make him a jerk all the time.
No, they make him evil in the manga too.
I forgot.
It's a hold of him.
Yeah, and doesn't he do some evil things to like Usagi?
He's just fighting her.
Okay, so
He tries
nothing.
to kill her. So, oh,
Oh,
that's my wife. Just so you know.
Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to season 2 because we have some interesting characters to talk about there.
oh yeah. This is what really I think inspired me when it came to this whole. Oh,
Okay, because I will pull up. Let me know if this is a good enough visual example of all the characters because it's hard to find all of them together.
yeah. Oh, this is cute though.
That way,
Regardless, it's adorable.
because I often forget about these 4.
What?
The top 2 really had 2 seconds and they were gone.
Yeah. But, okay, let's go ahead and focus because this is definitely the villains are just so problematic, so darn problematic.
Are we skipping the Ann and Alan?
Oh no! Wait, does that come before or after the clan?
Before them?
Yeah.
Well, okay, sorry.
That's
All right.
right.
I'm
No,
like,
that's
wait,
okay. Yeah.
like, wait, why are we in Chibiusa land?
They're also complicated because they only exist.
Anime only.
Yeah. So okay. So boom, what an interesting turn to go straight from the Doom and Gloom girls who are literally made to be just, excuse me, let me put those down. To go to these characters who were crafted, literally crafted to be sympathetic.
No, they were 100% way more sympathetic. You way more understood why they were doing what they were doing. And even they struggled with the morality of what they were doing.
As they are, it's that growing attachment. That's why we see it with Nephite. It's that growing attachment to that sense of humanity. And you see, oh, I care about this person. Oh, shoot, I see what I'm doing to this person is wrong. Does that apply to everybody? It might.
They invoked a lot of emotions in that 13 episodes.
It really, how impressive to have a design technically, because this came out after the movie, didn't it?
Before? Yeah,
Before?
Before the movie.
I
So,
always
I
thought it
mean,
was before.
to think that they
Recycled
created these
design.
characters, fit them into the Sailor Moon universe, and made us care about them.
Their life exists on siphoning life. It's genetically how they're made. So it's predatory in concept, but they're just trying to live. They're not trying to get extra super powerful. They're literally just trying to survive.
I know, and that's, I think, what makes them such compelling characters is you can't, I think we did an entire episode on these two, and it was a really interesting deep dive because it's like, I think it was Sailor Tortilla was the one who was like, they're literally starving. Like, they literally are doing what they have to do to get food.
Same. I gotta go to work every day.
Wow. The use of the word. That's true, though. It's true. The only thing that they have left that's attached to their world is that tree.
Literally trying to not die.
Wow. And also get some attachment to some people that they're accidentally legitimately having crushes on.
Well, you also start to feel for them because you realize early on that they're the only two left. And then you get the doom tree, or the tree of life is what she calls herself. And you get, when she awakens for a second, you get the whole backstory, and you find out that they watched everyone die around them, and they are the last people left.
Yeah.
And they were children. And because she was trying to save them, she couldn't even speak to them. So they were alone and only had each other. And I was like, I didn't come here for this.
Right, like, we came here to have a good time, and now all of a sudden I'm in my feels.
I'm over here
Like,
getting mad about Darian's Mamoru's stupid amnesia and Moonlight Night shenanigans. Okay, I don't have time to cry over these two.
Honestly, Darian needed to be redeemed from that whole entire season of not remembering her.
Skip. I'm telling you, they did terrible things to him in that anime.
Because they made him a dick.
For so long. I'll never get over that phone booth scene.
The amount of gaslighting narcissism that they made in Mamoru in the anime.
As if it's well-intentioned. You're being a jerk. Just be honest with her. Anyway, but that comes into with the next season, doesn't it?
Yeah, I got season 3 because that has to do with the Heart Snatchers.
All of it. And seeing visions of the future where you, I should break up with you. So.
Oh my God. For the amount of times he's like, we should be together. We should not be apart. We should go here. We should do this. I'm like,
But you know, that wasn't in the manga.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
They're
so dirty. The exact same situation. He's having these nightmares and he's worried about her safety. But guess what? They did it together. And that's why that season is so much easier to get through in Crystal / the manga than it is in the original anime. Because Chibiusa is still a brat.
I'm rereading the manga and I love Chibiusa so much more than I ever did. I don't know. I think it was because I read the manga relatively to watching the anime. And so the anime Chibiusa is so strong personality wise. I just could not get over it.
She's actually a really sweet kid in the fucking manga.
She really is, though.
She like really falls in love with Usagi. Like,
yeah, that's very true.
Friends. And I'm just like, that's your mom. But in the past, they're like, they cry over each other. Like when she has to go back to the future, like they are heartbroken to separate. I'm just like,
oh my gosh.
In the 90s anime, they're like, get the fuck out of here.
Return to sender, do not come back. Oh my God. But Alan and Anne, I cry, I think, every time I've rewatched it because something about between the music and the story and just how desperate they are for love. Because that's what they are the most desperate for is love. And it's different than Beryl's love, though. Beryl wanted love at all costs. These guys are similar in that they wanted love, but it was different. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's like, because they were, like you said, Beryl was so uninvolved. She stayed in her house the whole time. Ann and Alan were out there socializing. They were going to arcades. They were trying to shoot their shots, and they were being around people. And oh man, they were so clever. But just in general, that's such a big difference of you want this, but you're not putting yourself. There's no vulnerability like there was with Ann and Alan.
Oh, and especially at the end when they, like, die and the tree is, like, losing its actual mind. Here, I have a little clip. I'm not 100% sure. Let's see. Oh, okay. Oh, darn. See, I can never find this one in English, especially because it is just super hard. But we examined this one time, and I just wanted to talk about the difference in the voice acting for the Tree of Doom. Okay, so let me.
I decided to change all that. That I wasn't known as the dude. I was called the Tree of Life. It was times in the chill and peace. They turned into a creature. I still had faith in them. Once again, all of us could happily be.
Okay, so I just think that's very interesting because I feel like it's three very different characters. The first one I feel like is the more maternal but still alien. And then this, I felt like the original deep dub, full grandma, like full 100%. I want to go give you a hug, grandma.
Yeah, they
Which is
said
what
this is an ancient tree. And there was also, it was very like Grandma Aggie from Halloween Town.
Yes,
The way that she bellows her note. It was this way, and I was devastated. It's very whimsical and old, and yeah, Grandma.
I can
And then
see
the
it.
new one was just like sci-fi alien echo.
She got to me what Luna's treatment got. Like made younger, but also made just a tad different. And personally, if I had to choose a favorite, I'm going D.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Thank you,
sorry,
what
not
you're doing.
sorry. Definitely. A lot of my favorite voice actors are definitely going to be in the Deke version. I know it's campy, and I know it's got a lot of schmuck slot, but there's so much passion and emotion behind a lot of that acting.
Sure is.
And that's the thing. I think that is why I find the Tree of Doom, even in the 90s, even with the horrible dubbing, because some of that dubbing is so bad. I'm the one with the most talent. We all know that line. We all know that line. There's a reason.
That's that. My heart stopped for a second. I wasn't happy with that.
Because we love the silliness of the Deke dub. Or there's just something about it, and I don't know. Sometimes I just feel like they knocked their character acting out of the park.
Where else are you gonna go where you can find someone being called a schizoid?
Or told to go bleach your roots, creep. Iconic. Amy will always be iconic for that line. All right.
One of
Anything
the
else?
best lines ever.
I-
Did you forget about that line?
That was I never truly forget about it. It's like it lives rent free, but then you just brought it right back. That was amazing because I could hear it. I could hear it in my head. The delivery.
Go bleach your roots, creep.
Oh, perfect.
And that video was from DJ D, the Makai Doomtree English and Japanese voice comparison. So thanks for having that awesome epic YouTube video available.
Thank you.
All right. So anything else on the Doomtree twins that we want to talk about for their situation?
Are they siblings?
What did we end up deciding?
They're, from what you understand, the Doom Tree makes the perfect couple. So they're meant for each other. The Doom Tree or the Tree of Life made them to be life mates. They're soulmates.
Thank God. That's because I also in my mind, I'm like, if the Tree of Life is also asexually reproducing all of these things, that doesn't really count. So cool. I was never on the board of that. So I'm glad that you both agree with me on that. Perfect.
Yeah. They're meant to be soulmates. But the thing is they didn't know that
because she couldn't talk to them.
She couldn't tell them that they're made for each other.
I'm kind of annoyed that I'm actually getting really emotional right now.
And think about, remember when they played like the happy-go-lucky Sailor Moon music that Because like they added so much to that scene to make it like compelling. Because they wanted you to feel bad for that tree. All right. Any last things before we move on?
No, I'm making notes now.
As we go.
Yeah. Like I'm like you're starting to like notice patterns and trends and stuff too.
There's a lot. When you start to unpack everything, there's a lot to actually like get down to business. All right. So So where do we even want to start with this?
You should probably start with the sisters since they're the first ones who show up.
That's true. Because they get two very, very different treatments in manga to anime.
Yeah.
Because, let's see. With this.
Not even just with the end, but just how they're treated throughout.
Yeah. Like, okay. So these are the sisters. And I believe they have a title, don't they?
To the Spectre sisters, I think.
Yeah.
Spectre sisters.
Spectre sisters.
Spectre, because they've got gems. They've all got different gems.
Oh, that's
Spectre.
right. So
Mhm.
Nako kept on with the gem theme.
All the way around with this family.
Okay. And I remember specifically this character I always felt the most compassion for because of the chess scene where she was battling Ami and she was trying, and every move or piece that she got in chess, she was froze a little more.
Yeah. Like, whose fault was that? Who set the stake?
True.
But no, yeah, just in general, I've got a soft spot. I have 4 sisters.
Oh,
Yeah.
that.
So I think that growing up, I always had this very immediate feeling of I wanted them to get out of that. I wanted them to get out of it together, even though they were bickering all the time and fighting over the same man, which, come on, y'all.
I have a bone to pick with that trope. I hate that trope so much.
I was like, he's not even that cute.
He's not. And his voice is ridiculous.
But you're right. They all want to fight over one man, and they're all willing to go to the ends of the earth to do it.
Yeah.
Who was it? I don't remember her Japanese name, but Birdie, the blue one. I don't think she was in love with Rubius at all.
Yeah. I'm definitely, I'm super exaggerating when I say that they were all in love with him because I really only think it was like 2 of them. And then
I
think it's Kaone and
whichever one is on the far left.
Yeah.
100%.
Too.
Yeah. But then in the anime, Emerald also, not Emerald. She also, yes, Emerald. She also, no, not Emerald. Jesus Christ, sorry. She had that thing with Sapphire, and that added a whole nother layer of character that made you sympathize for her more and want her to make it out of this whole thing.
You really did.
That one. Yeah.
Like, you did just want them to get out. Like, you wanted to actually see them on the other side as humans. Because you have to admit, whenever they did give us that a little taste, I guess I'm going to just be cranky about it. Let's see. Look at how cute they were.
Exactly.
I was so happy in the anime.
Oh, literally sick. Literally sick.
Oh, so cute. This is adorable. Why can't we get this for everybody?
I love that. I loved the fact that they came back later in the season too. So you got to see that they were living happily.
Thriving with their cute little beauty business.
Oh, it's so good.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. And then her episode, let's see, Sailor Denzel coming in with her episode with Sapphire was so good.
That episode broke my fucking heart.
Every time I hang up a jacket, I'm so serious. Every time I hang up a jacket and it just falls, I just look at it and I'm just like, oh, I'll always remember that smile. And then I just lay the frame of the floor.
Just curls up.
Please don't fall. That's such a great scene. Those 2.
It's a thing.
Sapphire in himself is also a really
oh my god, you want to talk about golden, like the golden boy who should have been the golden boy.
The one that should have made it.
Oh, the one that really, you wanted him to make it. You really did want him to
Yes.
make it.
He was here. The whole, and again, this is not petty motivation. His actions are all based on loyalty to his brother.
Yes.
He's going through this because he doesn't trust that stupid motherfucker with the cloak. Sorry, excuse me. He doesn't trust that man with the cloak over there. And he is down to follow whatever it is he's got to do to make sure he stays by his brother's side. And what does it do?
Yeah.
Makes his funeral bells play. Well, even in the manga, Manga Sapphire even was like, hey,
Yeah.
Diamond, I think something's wrong.
Yeah.
And Diamond didn't listen.
He didn't.
And
No.
Sapphire in the manga is not as, he's similar to the anime because he was not as evil. Like
Mhm.
you said, he was loyal to his brother. And he's following his brother because his brother is the leader.
Yeah.
And he had some suspicions about Phantom.
Yeah.
So,
And he was trying to look out for him.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? I didn't even notice he was here because he blended in with the glove.
All he does is yell and kidnap children. So
he dies real fast when he's the one who has to fight. The sisters
Mhm.
lasted longer.
The
Oh
sisters
my-
all did.
They had a whole freaking music video montage episode.
Oh, they did.
I would like to watch that. Anyway, I also feel like with the sisters, this is one of the first times you start to really see, or more so like after Anne and Alan, you start to see our like villain characters masquerading as people more, showing up more in circumstances where they're trying to find targets for whatever. That here a lot, you start to see it more with the Amazon trio later on. And it's seeing them more so in those scenarios more and more. It's so easy for us to think, yeah, you could just do this all the time. Just be a person and stop this madness.
Tomfoolery.
Yeah. Shenanigans.
And I can't find the exact clip, but I found a clip that might be what you were wanting to talk about. I found how Catsy gets healed and gets saved. Would you like me to bring that up?
Yeah, let's do it.
Because
All
Catsy
right.
is the first one to get healed.
All right, so this is from Mars Power Transform on YouTube. So let me get this ready.
It was so sad because Rubius was like, get fucked essentially.
You should have
Breaks her heart.
Oh, baby.
Oh, deep dub.
Your heart's good. You've just been following the wrong path. Ruby's used and abused you, Catsy. We're deserter. I know you're good deep inside. And even though you've done some rotten things, I believe in you, Catsy. You should too. Say, you want to get off this life of evil?
You can feel for them.
Hey, can you help us out here? You think you can use your crystal on her?
Yeah, you do. You literally feel for them. Like when they cry, you want to cry with them.
I'm trying to hold back tears right now. I'm like,
I got goosebumps when she said nobody believes in me anymore. I was like, oh man, come on.
All right, let's finish the clip and then we're going to start going in on freaking Rubius because I have a lot to say about him after rewatching this.
Clown.
I've never used it that way before. I think it really could hurt. Why not give it a
The beginning.
the Luna voice we
Just
deserve.
answer whatever negative energy is left in her. See, go for it.
Why not?
I love that little British cat, man. And you knew it was real because they gave us a whole little sequence of her. Look at this. Amazing.
I don't remember that.
Gorgeous. Ah.
Wait, Sergeant.
Roll again. Yo, anybody home?
And Chad.
The Regal Cosmetic Company. Would you like to try some of our products?
That's the Avon lady.
I recognize that voice.
Goodness, you'll be needing a good moisturizer soon. Must be real dry in there. Good for you, Chatsy. Your future's looking a whole lot brighter.
No, you have to pay
I was so
taxes
happy that the
and
sisters got
rent.
redeemed.
Yeah.
I just want to be like, is anybody else crying right now? Like,
I'm
On the
definitely,
inside, I'm holding it back.
yeah, I'm definitely pretty emotional over here.
there's just something so nice about that where it's like, it's bookend.
Yeah. Yeah. And even you'll see as they go through, you're like, well, that traitorous B word and left us to go yada. Oh, at the same time, they're realizing that they're just also upset because they want to get out.
They don't want to have to deal with it. They don't want to have to deal with Rubius's attitude.
Yeah.
Speaking of
'cause
Rubius,
I forget who goes to visit Catsy to talk to her. I think, doesn't someone like go to talk to her afterward? Was it Birdie
Sapphire?
or something?
Birdie?
I want to say my initial instinct is to guess Birdie, but I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, same.
Because I remember, I feel like there was a piece of episode where they're like, how could you leave us, essentially, to Catsy? And Catsy's like, no. I think it's when
They tried
she
to
goes
take her
heal the other
back.
Yeah, it's when
Right?
she goes to heal the other sister. When it's the episode the other sisters actually get healed.
I'm checking.
Catsy shows back up because they're going to change her back, and she's like, I don't want to go back. She's like, no, thank you.
I'm all right.
Hard
Hard
I
pass.
don't want it.
I found Birdie getting healed.
Yeah, I think it's Birdie and Catsy. Because Catsy takes Birdie in, and then it's Prisma, and I forget what her English name was, but I know her Japanese
You're
name.
right. I found it. And it's again from Mars Power Transform.
The real hero.
Hero of the night. All right.
Because I remember it was like, please tell me the other sisters are going to get healed. And that's right, because the other sisters made fun of her. And that's why she was like, I don't want to do this anymore. I'll just kill everybody, including myself.
And also, real quick, Catsy reminds me of Fran Fine from The Nanny in the best possible way.
Yes.
With her dub voice, yes.
Yeah, so
it's her style, big hair.
It's and the kind heart, like it's giving me Fran Fine. But okay, let's finish this clip.
You think they did that on purpose?
Probably. I was like,
These are pretty fast. Elsa could never.
Oh, Birdie, this is a new feeling for me. Why? Are you in pain? No, they're just tears of joy. I have so much to learn. We'll learn together, sister.
and I'm like,
I know. Like, why am I still over here just shoot?
I know. I'm like, I don't get why I'm crying. Like, why am I crying? I'm like a
Spectre Sisters fucks me up.
Yeah.
Because I was like, after Catsy or Kone got healed, I was like, please tell me the rest of them are gonna get healed. Like, they deserve better because Rubius turned them against each other.
Because they chose to heal. That's the thing. They're consenting to being better people.
and they come from such a long way because in a lot of ways, like, look at this image I found. They're in a lot of ways a foil to the Inner Scouts.
That's the music video episode. I love it.
Yeah,
They are, because they each use the same power, because Catsy uses fire, Birdie uses ice water, like Mercury can do.
Avery's got a whip.
Prisma can uses a whip, and then Pets uses lightning.
Oh, you're right. I never put that together. Yeah, no, I cry anytime it has to do with their redemption. 'Cause, like, that's it. There's different points in Sailor Moon you cry. Like the when you see their death for the Doom and Gloom girls, you cry because you're horrified. That just breaks your heart in 20,000 different ways and sends you to the moon. But then
Which is also devastated and broken in several different ways.
exactly. But then the sisters, something about getting to see them actually live as humans and actually get a chance. It's so I don't know. It's just the best part of Sailor Moon.
Well, it kind of is the reason why it's so healing for them, is because people who are reading the manga, they were saying that the whole Black Moon clan in general were humans that wanted to live as humans, but they didn't want the immortality. So they got banished, and now they're just like, I'll just live on Earth like a normal person. And we get to be human again. They don't have to be filled with the negative energy anymore.
Yeah. So now I keep getting that song head from Beauty and the Beast. We'll be human again. We'll be human again. But all right.
Yeah.
And then
They were my favorite redemption.
they were the best. Like they did it's a heartwarming redemption.
They're really the only ones who get a redemption out of the Black Moon clan. So
Sapphire gets it in death.
Yes.
He got it prior to death, but he also just unfortunately happens to die.
Oh, which his death is so freaking sad.
So sad.
Let's see if I can find
His
it.
death.
But like, they really
I
go
was
for it.
upset.
Oh,
I
sorry,
was
what-
like, he's not going to get healed by Sailor Moon and be able to be with Prisma or with pets. This is bullshit.
Why would they do that too? Because like, no one cares about Diamond's death. Where is the good death?
Nobody except for Usagi cared that man died.
I am
He
not.
was
I
quite handsome.
Ooh, and his Japanese voice actor is amazing.
really?
And yeah, his I keep trying to not call it the Viz version. His Chris Japanese voice actor. It's the same. I hate that I can't remember his name right now. He's also Light Yagami's Japanese voice actor. So that's why that range from suave, debonair prince of the dark moon planet to absolute maniacal kidnapping pervert.
There's a lot.
Dressed her.
There's a lot of
Put
problems.
that dress on her.
But look at how cute these outfits are in the background.
I need this.
All right, you guys ready to cry a little?
No.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Bullshit.
No.
Fear deserve better, damn it.
I know. And that was from original versus dub on YouTube. But oh my god, like that
It would not have made a difference if he had been able to been healed and stay with her.
Yes, it would have. We would have been less crying.
How much tissue?
Yeah. By the way,
Okay.
tissue warning for tonight. This is a tissue warning episode.
No, I was fine. I made it a whole solid hour without actually losing tears. Dang it.
Because it's so
Well,
fun.
that
It's
death
like,
will always
do it.
make you lose it, though. 'Cause
Ooh,
especially
telling
because
you.
you like looked at her with such love,
With-
and you're like, "What the fuck, you monsters!"
I'm telling you, this is the arc that made me think they are really doing something different with the storytelling, and it's not a perfect ending. Like obviously the perfect ending is getting to keep him and have him, but he died doing what he set out to do, which was not running away from his problems and going to try and be there for his brother. That's who he was as a character. And that's why, despite him not having really given a F about humans to begin with, we felt for him because the most human thing about him was how much he loved his brother.
Mhm.
Just
I
that-
hate it here.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so
I am glad
good.
that Rubius and Emerald didn't get a redemption. They just
I'm sorry. Phil.
they died. I was like, that's what they deserve.
The red
Yeah.
Skittle,
Especially
the green
Rubius.
Skittle.
Because like honestly, just goodbye. Goodbye.
He was just evil. They didn't even try to redeem this motherfucker. They just let him die.
No. And it goes back to again petty motivations.
Oh, completely petty motivations.
Absolutely. And you can see that in the chart. Those two right there in the middle with their Christmas colored color themes were obviously meant for no good.
They didn't. They got offed, which was fine. I didn't
Yeah.
care. Especially with Emerald's Onesan laugh.
Yes. I know.
And then everybody else in that picture, I was like, no
Yeah.
redemption for you. I mean, there's no going to be no redemption for Wise Man because he literally is chaos. So
Let's not tease. Man, I'm trying to, again, we're on live. Not to.
have you heard how much I'm cursing?
And you can curse.
Yeah, but you're on the whatchamacallit. You're a
Don't
seasoned
matter.
host here. I'm a visitor. You don't come into somebody's house for this first time and like, trek your dirty shoes all over the carpet. But if you trek your dirty shoes all over the carpet, it's fine. It's your house.
I got hardwood floors. It's fine.
Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show.
But like, Wise Man's not going to get a redemption. He's fucking chaos.
Yeah,
So.
fuck that guy. Yeah, fuck that guy. He's the
Condone.
worst. Lying, manipulating, literally two-faced.
The
Literally.
fact that he like was gonna kill all of the Black Moon clan anyway, I was like, I'm not okay with this.
No, because he's using them as pawns and it's horrible.
Yes.
Mhm.
Which, funny tie back to the Beryl conflict. He can't be redeemed because we're too busy looking at everybody else being not as bad as he is. Yeah,
I mean,
Diamond is
he's not gonna get.
problematic. He's problematic at best, but at least he's not Wise Man.
Yeah, I mean, Wise Man was the physical manifestation of chaos because Natalia was just the voice of chaos. So this is the physical manifestation. The only time that chaos got a physical manifestation.
Yeah, because do we see chaos again in season 4 though, don't we?
In the cauldron.
In the cauldron. But that's still not a manifestation.
I mean, there's no manifestation of chaos in the anime after Wise Man,
Yes.
really.
Yeah.
I mean, Mistress 9, but she's a agent of chaos. She's not chaos himself. Wise Man was
Mhm.
chaos himself. That is
Do we have to talk about Diamond?
Diamond doesn't get a redemption though. Like,
Yeah.
he dies helping because it was his fault that shit went sideways. Like,
Yeah.
do I wish he got a redemption? Yeah.
Yeah. Because
He
Do I wish that Saphir had lived and gotten a redemption? I think everyone but Rubius and Emerald deserved a redemption. And those little side
Okay.
characters they had on that photo, they don't count. They were like
No, they don't count. They didn't.
sub-villains.
They were fodder.
Like, they were fodder, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think like Diamond, Sapphire, and the sisters all
Yeah.
deserve to live as humans. Like in the
Yeah.
anime, I wish they had.
It's with Diamond, I feel again, his love was, you could also call it obsession. Absolutely. And it was
Mhm.
twisted even darker by Wise Man. But
Mhm.
at the end, I could call this a redemption, but it's more so that I sympathize with him. He loved her. And that was a real love because he was in fact willing to sacrifice his wants to save her at the end.
Mhm.
And that's the
Yes.
difference between Beryl, who was just like, I don't care if the whole world burns down. This man is mine.
yeah.
And there's a difference there. There was a sense of understanding. All of the people in this family, minus dumbass duo over there, they could understand that they wanted to understand real love.
And then you also have Black Lady
Oh,
because she's not magic.
Oh.
completely created out of her own sense of wanting to be loved being twisted.
Yeah.
Wise man, bro.
Her own memory is being twisted to to say that she was not loved, but she
Yes.
was. But you have to think she's 900 years old. You got 900-year-old memories that he was twisting. Like, you don't remember everything. You're gonna see something, and one little thing could be changed, and all of a sudden you're like, "Wait, I'm not loved." And she wanted to be a lady because she was upset. She was 900 and she wasn't growing up. I'd be upset too.
No, honestly, that's relatable. Like, I would hate it.
That she was a
That's-
child for 900 years. Like,
That's a villain arc in itself.
I would have been like, Usagi, you need to do something about that. Like, you can't. But it was her own, like, they kind of lean towards it's like her own fault that she was like that.
Yeah, it's
Because
like
she
they
was
never
meant to
were
grow
really
up.
able to fully, something in herself stunted herself, but we
Yes.
didn't really know what it was because it happened not necessarily right around a really specific traumatic moment. It didn't happen around the time that Neocleus Serenity made everybody's lives longer. It didn't really happen around the time that she got encapsulated in that court. Kind of just happened.
Yeah.
So it's hard to, I guess it is her own fault because once she has her arc, she starts aging.
She does. You see her, she actually gets taller and she starts aging with Hotaru.
And she
Um,
starts acting less like a prat.
Yeah. But I think Black Lady is so interesting because she's one of the main characters turned villain. Like we've seen people turn villain, but she like turned villain. Like she embraced it. She welcomed the dark side within her.
She said, I'm about to take your man.
Oh, the father issues. So many father issues.
I think that aspect was a little odd. I think it's because she doesn't realize completely that Mamoru is her father.
I just feel like the way that she sees Mamoru and Usagi in the past, it's like her mind draws a hard line between these people are my parents. Her parents are two completely different people to her. This regal, beautiful, sophisticated person is my mom. This phantom, like grayscale purple man is my father. But this guy is my crush, and this woman is basically my sister.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They don't do a great job of distinguishing that line in the first season of her appearance.
Yeah, not really.
She also in the manga, I don't think she knows her parents' actual names. That's what it made me feel like.
Really?
I don't know about the
She doesn't realize her mom is Sailor Moon.
Mm.
Like even in the anime, she doesn't know that Neo Queen Serenity is actually Sailor Moon because they just say Endymion because that's the name he goes by. He doesn't go by Mamoru.
That's true.
Endymion told her stories about Sailor Moon and the Sailor Scouts and did not mention that, hey, your mom was Sailor Moon, by the way. Because she just knows Sailor Moon can help her. So I think that was really interesting. So it played into that her becoming Black Lady because she didn't know the whole truth. And that I think that's also something that is her parents' fault. Like Neo Queen and Endymion, because they didn't really tell her everything and they didn't hold on.
I get the feeling we're going to be going to break real soon.
Yeah. I don't give too much thought. And I don't mean that in like a flippant, I pretend I do not see it, but that disassociation of characters, just exactly like Selene is explaining. It's like there is a complete disassociation for Chibiusa between her parents and these two people who she's spending time with in 1,000 years.
Because her attitude changes when she realizes who they are.
Yes, it should have changed when she pulled that gun out. I'll tell you that.
But the thing is her Mamoru love completely changes into I just want him to pay attention to me more because that's my dad. Like it's more like like daddy's girl kind of attitude instead of what she was doing prior.
Yeah.
And her love with Usagi completely changes. But this doesn't happen till after the whole Black Lady thing happens.
Right. After
You're
she
right.
has her whole sense of what her parents' love for her actually is twisted and disrupted and, feeling alone and then coming back, etc. like that.
And then, of course, it's power of love that brings her back. It's Usagi being like, hello, we love you. And then Usagi also looking like Neo Queen Serenity. So Usagi looking like her mother and Chibiusa making the connection that I am loved. I want to come home. I don't like what's going on. I have been tricked.
Just wanted to get her. Oh, man.
It always comes back to the desperation for love.
Yes, exactly. And there is that difference. The desperation of love and what are you willing to sacrifice for it versus not willing to be sacrificial and only wanting to take, which is what separates everybody in this family so far from irredeemable characters like Beryl.
One other thing of desperation is for Chibiusa. And the reason why she becomes Black Lady, she doesn't realize she has the silver crystal in her. And she wants to help her mother. She is desperate to help release her mom in the future.
Her intentions are pure.
So all that, you have that desperation there's a lot of desperation in Chibiusa. And that is why she turns into a villain. But that's also what helps her like grow as a person. Like it's essentially an adult situation that she's put into. And that's when you start seeing her evolve.
Yeah.
And similar in the manga, like the manga goes along the dark route that they did because she wants to be an adult. She doesn't want to be small lady. She wants to be a lady.
Yes.
And like I
Which in
said, I'd be
itself-
pissed too if I was a little kid for 900 years.
Right. And now I'm going to grow up and be, not only am I a grown up, but I'm this hot. Yeah, I'm keeping the power
Yeah,
of
I'm
darkness
keeping
on.
hot
Yeah,
and
we're going to go
gorgeous.
ahead and ride this out. Yeah.
Okay. So are we taking a break, Celine?
Yes. 'Cause
Okay.
Einstein's gonna go off again, and I might actually end up with a fur coat.
If you
Okay.
don't name your corgi Einstein, I don't trust you as a person.
He's named Einstein after the Cowboy Bebop dog.
If you don't name your corgi Einstein, I don't trust you as a person.
Exactly. His nickname's Ein. He's got a little red collar, just like Einstein.
Okay, guys.
There's
so
a reason I got him.
I love you so much. All right, guys, we will be back with the second half of the episode in 15 minutes, so at 8:40. And I hope you guys are ready to talk the next half of the villains because, man, we have so much to discuss here. There's so much to unpack. All right, guys, we'll see you in 15.
We're going into the Death Busters and then Nehelenia, and I've got words.
And then we got to at least touch on Galaxia because that's coming up real quick.
Yeah.
All right, so 8:40.
8:40. All right, we'll see you guys soon.
We're back.
No, but what I was saying is that we're back with talking about our favorite villains and whether they were redeemed or whether their desperation made them unredeemable. Because I feel like that's kind of what we've been hinting at all.
Because if they're just too desperate, there's nothing to connect with.
Mhm.
And thus, even in the anime, they're like, nope, you die too.
Yeah, no, literally. It's 1, 2, 3, bye.
Because in the manga, no one gets redeemed except Black Lady. But
Yeah.
of course, she's going to get redeemed. She's Chibiusa. And then in the next arc, we're going into Haru, essentially, because she becomes Mistress 9, but she was forced to be Mistress 9.
Yes.
So she's the only one. She does die because she ends up a baby, but
Mhm.
she also gets essentially a redemption
Yeah, I think that there's a
for the series. They're the only two, but they are two main scouts, so they're not just going to be like and off these characters. So it's interesting that we do have some villains that are characters, and they get redemption because they're characters. But going into the Deathbusters arc with the pure heart crystals, there is only one redemption, and he only gets a redemption in the anime.
I was going to say, I'm like, are we talking Professor Tomoe?
Because in the manga, he does not reappear.
I'm
The
trying to.
parents of Hotaru are Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto.
Yeah.
They are the ones who take the baby. In the 90s anime, Hotaru the baby was with Professor Tomoe. And the three scouts lived with him, sorta, and then took the baby when it was time. He's the only one who gets one. And it's only in the anime. Because he does not show up again in the manga. He gets a redemption, he gets a feelings redemption in the manga. Because you find out what he did to Hotaru and why he did it. And you're like,
Yeah.
I was like, actually, this motherfucker does deserve to die.
he becomes more, you understand him more. I don't know if
Yeah.
I'd say he's
I mean,
redeemed.
I would probably do the same thing as a parent if my child died in my arms, which is what happened with Hotaru. So he rebuilt her.
No, see, Victor Stone and Cyborg and his dad, they might have some opinions about that.
It's okay. Sailor Moon.
True.
They do some crazy ass shit.
It's Sailor Moon. They just like to have it be as wild. Look at this image that I found when I was just looking up, trying to find almost a pathetic picture, but instead what comes up whenever you search him. And it's him in his lab coat with his glasses all fogged, and then literal devil horns.
And that's chaos behind him. So yeah.
Yes, the Comfy Witch. That is correct.
And so the Comfy Witch said Professor Tomoe and Tucker from Full Metal Alchemist are having tea together in hell. Not wrong.
It's true. Although he does apologize for what he did.
Yeah.
Okay.
He feels bad about it. Tucker didn't give a fuck.
You can feel
He's
bad
like,
about
look what I did.
doing bad things and then be held accountable for doing those bad things.
I think that
Desperation
He's
versus
dying,
whatever.
so, I mean, he was held accountable by dying.
he
Death.
is seen as a rather
what he got.
sympathetic character, though, in the end, I think. Because, like, even look at how they animate him.
Yes,
With all the
but they definitely show that he was healed as well. Like, this wasn't his fault. He was possessed.
In the manga, no. Well, the
Right.
manga, for him and Hotaru, it's very tragic because he finds Hotaru's dead body, and he
And his
weeps.
wife's
Like,
dead.
it's sorrow. It is a parent's visceral sorrow for losing their child. And that's when Chaos, like, slips its little fingers in and is like, hey, bestie, I hear your child died.
As
Um,
Chaos does.
I can help with that. And unfortunately, he does get corrupted, and he lets Chaos help him reconstruct Hotaru. Because for those of you who haven't read the manga, Hotaru is an android. She is a robot.
Part robot.
Part robot, yeah. Like, she's got like mechanical parts that kind of show. You see it in Crystal because they didn't have this aspect in the 90s anime of her being an android. But that's what he builds. He builds an android to keep his daughter.
Like Cyborg.
She's a cyborg. And she kind of see her wiring and stuff. It does happen in the manga too. And like I said, it happens in Crystal because Crystal follows the manga. So it was a shock for me, I think,
yeah,
to have that cyborg, that cyborg kind of thing. Because I wasn't expecting it in the manga. It was just very like left field kind of. I was like, robots. When did robots come in?
I don't know the way you said that's cracking me up.
robots.
Yes.
Robots.
I'm realizing something though.
What?
Celine's kind of made me realize that the only redemption arcs in this season are all had by Senshi. Because we get introduced to Uranus and Neptune. We're like, yay, more scouts, but they're kind of on the opposite side of us for most of the season. We've got different methods to things. Our moral compasses are different, and we're kind of looking at them like they're problematic, even though we know that their motivations are right. And then we see them at the end and their devotion to each other as a means of like why they've been so drastic in their actions, trying to do this good thing by being like. And Saturn has nothing but a terrible reputation. She has a horrible reputation. Literally, that's all we talk about is that we do not want this bitch to show up to the party. Do not invite her. Don't text her. Don't let her know that the world is ending. Nobody wants her to come to this party. And then she shows up to the party, and then she tries to save the party.
And they're like, fucking Kevin's here. That's what happens. It's like, fucking Kevin's here at a party. That's essentially who she is.
So it's just interesting. I'm like, like Tomoe and like like I said, all the Death Busters really just die. And the only people he is antithesis with arts are Jewel Senshi. That's interesting. I didn't think about that.
Yeah. And it's, I am the biggest, like, that ending battle in season 3 of Usagi versus Uranus and Neptune, I was rooting for Co-Queens 24.
What else is new?
But that's just me. I would have loved to have seen those two as like the leaders, but that is just my heart because I'm such a Haru Michi fan.
That's okay. They were the leaders that whole season.
I love them in that season.
Couldn't have been leaders. Do you want to know why? Because
they're too busy kissing people
on her knees for other women. So
too busy kissing people.
Yeah, no, she likes to kneel a lot. So
how do I say? Hey, Cake Blonde. Hey, hey, you like race cars? I like race cars.
I like to drive really fast.
No, they'd be awful. They're really they don't know how to look out for the grand calculus of the team. They're too busy holding hands and scissoring.
They're good at teamwork with one
Well,
another,
something
not good at teamwork with the rest of the team.
that. Something though, I do want to say the villains who weren't redeemed. Let's talk about the opposite of the Spectre sisters, the Witches Five, the
But yes,
ultimate and
also
unredeemed.
fabulous.
Yes.
All so freaking fabulous. Everything
Hey,
was
I mean,
perfect.
it's interesting with the Witches 5 because we don't even know like where they actually come from.
Exactly.
You just have Tomoe, and then you got these bitches showing up, and like, where did they come from? Because were they humans? Because we don't really get anything for them. We just get that. Oh, here's the villains that are like the bitches of Tomoe.
The
but
bitch is
there's
five.
some of the best villains because they are so darn evil.
Yeah, they're in terms of their presence as villains. I love the fights. The fights are so good. Their fight pace is so fun. They look so amazing. They're awful.
So what the Comfy Witch 5 for Comfy Witch said about the Witches 5, technically the twins is supposed to be one person that split herself into two. So there were 5.
It's very self-zest. Very self-zest.
I mean, there's also what's her name? Eugile, his
Yeah.
assistant.
Oh, no.
Who the fuck is she supposed to be?
God, who is she supposed to be?
But isn't Eugile one of the witches five?
No, Eugile's one of the witches. Her name in the English was
Kaori
Kaori
Knight.
Kaori Knight or something. So we got her also.
Yeah.
And
The Witches
she's much
7?
closer to like serving chaos and Mistress
Mm.
9. And kind of like right next to Tomoe. Yeah, her. Miss Hotness.
Oh, you know what? See, I used to get her and that other one mixed up. You're right.
It's because they're both redheads.
That's because they both have. Yep. But she was a bad bitch.
Yes, there was nothing but bad bitches this season. Even some of the designs on just the weekly monster, bad bitches. Who remembers the
No.
race shoe?
The shoe is iconic. The tennis shoe
Yes.
is iconic.
Yes. Moon Sierra Magic did a cosplay of that shoe, and it is
Yes.
Fantastic.
she's amazing. She's amazing. Like the giant balloon lady from Super S, who like almost suffocated Usagi to get to death because she was trying to smooch on Endymion.
God. I remember that
I
one.
would want to do the Lady of the Lake one.
Yeah, so pretty.
Or the Sakura tree one that had the cat face when she was able to attack monsters.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. I love both of those.
At
Those
the-
are my favorites.
I love that. No, those are beautiful. And then the Comfy Witch coming in again. Let's see. She is Professor Soichi Tomoe's assistant and the leader of the Witches 5. Now it's 7 people. No one in the series can count, apparently.
It's gonna be Girls' Generation in a minute. We need to make it to 9.
Yes! It's going to be Genie. It's going to be Genie's music video.
Look how cute they are in Crystal, though. Like that art.
They really do. Like, their colors pop.
Yeah, because they've got so much more black. Their colors in their outfits stand out less than their hairdo. It's really cool.
Honestly, and that's I'll admit, like the Marine Cathedral episode, she was top top tier.
Yes.
Like
She was doing so well until they discovered that they've got the pure hearts.
That's because she was too
And then
dramatic.
they realized that they could use them. And she was like, oh shit.
But the problem is, if she had just killed them and then moved on, she could have won. But she had to be dramatic. She had to set up that giant, mouse trap in the church. And, what was that? How much money did you spend? Who are you?
Petty.
I think she was petty from the whole rest of the season. She was so angry that she had to make the most convoluted way to kill them both in front of each other.
And then what?
And then she loses.
So what did all that theater get you? What did all that theater get you?
An L.
It got her villain rights. Duh. Villains got to be theatrical.
That's true.
They got to do their
And that's why she is such a bad bitch, though. She's definitely top in the Witches 5, easily. But they all deserve to die. Yeah, they were terrible.
They all are. They're genuinely, all horrible people. Pretty much.
It's a
Lucky witch. Or
when they
Loki.
signed on to Tomoe Enterprises as interns.
Do we even know how they end up there?
Internship. Because aren't they also at a school, right? Like, this is where they really introduced that school theme, like in that downtown area or whatever.
It's the
Mugen.
Mugen,
Thank you.
where Uranus and
Yes.
Neptune go.
Yes,
It's
exactly.
supposed to be like the top creme de la creme, like very smart people. Look
me
at that outfit. Like, she fucking
And
slayed.
he's the
Oh, they were.
Oh no, we're fucking. She
It's an 18
climbed
plus
him like
show.
a fucking tree and told him to sit down and shut up.
And he did. He said,
Yeah,
I got that
and
Pharaoh
after
9
they
in
were
me,
done, he was
but
the
you about
boss.
to have that Pharaoh 9 in you.
Exactly.
I
so
hated
good.
it. Look at that fit. Look at her fit. Look at that fit. Look at her.
Yeah. Oh
Look
yeah.
at the
She is
jewelry.
her best fit.
If I was Hotaru, I would have hated that.
And she did
I mean,
because
I-
she was in charge of Hotaru.
insufferable. And I know
She had
you're
to watch
banging
over
right now.
her and make sure like Hotaru was doing things correctly.
Loki.
That's in her personal part of the villain contract comfy with. Yeah.
The bonds
right,
have to be separated.
Anything else for season 3 before we move on to season 4?
And like I said, the only one who really gets redeemed is Hotaru. Mistress Nine dies,
Yeah.
but Mistress Nine was in Hotaru, and Hotaru does die.
Yeah. And
But
but
no,
Hotaru dies. Hotaru dies redeeming Saturn's character.
Mhm.
Which is
Mhm.
pretty that's pretty
because
good.
Usagi's like Saturn's still a scout. Y'all need to stop.
I love her.
And so one of the things I'm realizing as we're going through this, I think the reason why the anime had more redemption is because of they were playing on Usagi's empathy that she has, where, and I think this is what they were going on was you have to see what's underneath. You can't judge a book by its cover. So I think that's a big theme with the whole redemption in the 90s, because I think they were like, we can't just kill everyone. We understand this is a kid's show. It can't be that dark.
Oh, yes,
We need
it
some
can.
people to live.
Agreed.
But the thing was,
the Doom and Gloom girls
more of a kid's show, even though the manga was a teen manga.
Yeah.
Doom and Gloom girls. I'm sorry. Roast pig. That's villain. That's dark. That's dark.
That's really dark.
That's awful. And they just
All right.
decided to throw that into the anime for fun.
I know. Real quick before we move on to season 4, Sailor Denzel wants to know who's y'all's favorite of the Witches 5. I'm biased because the Marine Cathedral episode, so I would say you, Jewel.
I actually think the same, because it's just, despite me calling her petty for her motivation, she's so immensely powerful. One, because you can tell because of how long she lasted. But just in general, she's so cunning and she's conniving in a way that the other ones kind of weren't.
She
like
was using big
Mehmet.
brain. Oh, sorry.
Yes. Sorry.
I love Mehmet. I was like looking up at, because I have, I can show you guys.
Yes,
I have it
please.
here. I have up here. I actually have the Witches 5 up there.
Wow.
So I was like, who is it? Who do I like? And I was like, I actually like Mehmet.
Solid answer.
I liked
I also
her.
like.
She was
She also had
interesting
more
as
episodes than the others.
she was interesting as a contrast to Venus.
She was an agent, right? She played as an agent.
Yeah,
A
and
lot
she
of
was
the
also
time.
a pop star, I believe.
She did model as a pop star at one point.
man.
But she had more episodes than the rest of them. So
Yeah,
like she actually had more screen time as one of the witches. I do have the cloth posters that Hot Topic used to sell.
I love
Amazing.
that. All right, so let's move on to season 4, and let's start with 3 characters who we can all agree are extremely problematic as pickup artists, but I think have one of the best redemptions as characters in
Yes.
finding out what love is.
But at least they all had types and they stuck to them. They all had types and they stuck to them.
We always say here at Eternal Mooncast, we understand that the source material does have very Selene, how do you say it? Because you always say it so eloquently.
It can be problematic, and we understand that. There's certain things that were put into the manga and the series, given the time, before people were like, "Hey, that's problematic."
So yeah, we always just want to put a little disclaimer out there that we do acknowledge it before we move on. But by
Right?
by goodness, their redemption, I just cry so hard. Also, Loki, you should be ashamed. That joke was wonderful.
Yes.
But I have a couple videos. I have a couple videos I wanted to show you guys because they're different portions of the Amazon trio and how they kind of react to everything. Oh, don't leave, Loki. All right, this one is first, and it's the Amazon trio finds out what they are, and it's from New Dub on YouTube.
That's such a tight effect. Oh, tragic line.
I was gonna say, let's talk about that line real quick because that line I feel like embodies the entire
Yeah, and a lot of this season too.
Yeah, because so the line is that let me find the exact wording of it, but it's about when Fisheye realizes why they don't have beautiful dreams. And Fisheye says, "Is that why we don't have any beautiful dreams of our own?" I'm sorry, that's horrible to imagine living without a dream.
And not really ever having their entire job is to go and plop around in other people's dreams. And I'm sure they have wondered, I wonder why I don't get any of these. Tigers must dream. Tigers dream. That makes me sense.
I do find it interesting the way they did it in the anime because in the manga they know that they know what they are, but in the anime they took the route where they didn't know what they were, because you see them as their animal forms first. It's funny because they also make Zirconia's magic hold it when it's actually what's her face, the Red Quartet member.
Oh my god. You're I know what you mean. Vez?
Yeah. That's actually her power that gave them human form. Because she's the beast tamer.
So I actually found the crystal version, which is pretty close to the manga, I believe, correct?
This is the one from the movie.
This is from Sailor Mommy Gamer on YouTube.
It's a great name.
Oh, it's all of them.
Although just happier.
They're
Those
happy to be
two
human.
scenes. Those two scenes are totally 1,000% different. I'm sorry, but that first one is horror. That is abject horror, I
Yeah.
think. I'm using that word right. It's horror that they're actually animals, and I'm still it's words are escaping me. But it's like that horror of not wondering especially Fisheye, wondering what's wrong with them and not being able to figure it out and then having it shoved in your face in the most horrible
Literally
possible.
shoved in their face. Hey, not something I'm going to tell you guys real quick. Just something I'm going to mock you for. Here's a grand reveal.
Right? It's horrible. It's genuinely one of the worst reveals, I feel like, in the series for villains.
And even later in that movie, when they have I think it's Hawkeye's scene where they've got the shop. And he's talking about how they'd like to have a shop like this. So you get, it starts out with more self-actualization. It's like, yeah, I know I'm not human, but I want to be. Versus, I just didn't know I wasn't human. What do you mean? I'm like,
it's so sad. All right, and then we're going to move on to the second saddest part of it, which I believe is when Usagi actually gets killed.
oh, bro.
I know. I'm like, everybody, tissue warning, tissue warning.
Hey, yo, wait, time out. Fuck this clown, bro. Fuck that clown. Fuck him.
In particular. So this is from Usagi Shattered Dream Mirror Biz Media Dub from Sailor B. So let's go ahead and play.
And I think this monster, the clown, was actually sent by the Amazon Quartet because they don't like the Amazon Trio.
It is. I believe so.
I'm already super upset. Now,
And I believe she was hanging out with Fisheye or something. She became friends with her.
She took them in, I think.
Yeah, Fisheye was crying in the rain over finding out that Fisheye was a fish, and that's when Usagi found him and was like, "Hey, you're my rival. You better like take care of yourself if you want to be my rival."
Yeah.
So that's where
Which is the kindest thing you could ever say to someone who's trying to steal your man.
let's finish this up.
Oh, wait. How dare you? I guess that's one way to cut the tears is what dramatic means.
Like, just something about that is so
Dang it.
sad. Like,
I
just
told
so
myself to get
horrendously
tissues
sad.
before the break, and I didn't get tissue. I'm gonna come right back. I'll be right back.
So many tissues
Okay,
needed.
no worries. But yeah, I know, and we're almost at the worst part of it, which to me, I always deep cry. But it hits you in the heart. I mean, these characters that you've spent all this time with.
And the anime is the only one who makes you actually feel that way for the Amazon trio.
Oh, yeah, the manga, not at all.
All right. Got tissues.
Welcome back.
In the manga, the Amazon trio literally gets turned to humans and then they attack Makoto, Rei, and Ami and die.
And that's it.
And that's it. Like, you don't get these emotions that you get for them from the 90s anime. You don't have any connection with them.
Not at all. Which is wild because the end, like the way, because how, remind me for a quick refresher, how do they end up dying? Because they end up betraying their master, right?
What, in the 90s anime?
In the 90s anime. Yeah.
In the 90s anime, they turn against Zirconia. And the Amazon Quartet shows up to kill them.
Okay. So yeah, and that's when they sacrifice themselves, I believe, right? To save Sailor Moon.
I think so. And then Usagi gives them their own dream mirrors.
Yeah, because here, I found this part of their death. So I figured we would watch this. This is my favorite, okay? I'm sorry, guys. This is my favorite, death. And this is from Danilo Pisa on YouTube. So Tiger
People
Sign
don't
Hawk
understand. People don't know how Looney fans work. When we can say what our favorite death scene is in a series, but they don't understand us.
This is second behind Uranus and Neptune's death, but this is still good.
They went crazy with that soundtrack, I'm telling you.
That soundtrack, it's like the soundtrack to Tarzan. They didn't have to go that hard. They didn't have to make it that emotional. But oh my god, every single time whenever the mirror comes out and they're like, and Fisheye just looks so soft. Like
the peas. And that's it. They didn't really want some crazy amount of yada yada. They just wanted to be people. And they just wanted to have dreams. Modest, earnest, hopeful redemption. Not on some crazy, desperate, you know what? I'm still emotional. Like, I can't talk right now.
What do you think, Selene?
Like I said, the anime is what makes you fall in love with them. You get to see them experience new things because they are hiding among people, especially Fisheye delves very deeply into society and stuff like that, and she's trying to find herself. And so you get a connection, especially during the episode with her hanging out with Usagi.
Oh yeah.
The manga doesn't do that. Manga just is oh, we made them people and now they're dead.
Bang. What?
Yeah.
Bang.
It's so true.
You don't have it's so much different, the fact that they gave them so much screen time in the 90s anime. And they switched that up the way they did. I guess because they were like, we need someone to be the bad guy for a sec. Well, they were the main bad guys. We'll just pick them.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because you also had the rivalry between them and the Amazon Quartet.
True.
Because the Amazon Quartet was constantly trying to take their job. So it was also an interesting kind of thing.
Yeah.
I liked their redemption in the anime.
Yeah.
Because that's the only time they had one. Because, like I said, in the manga, they were in and out.
Yeah. There was an impending doom about them for those last couple of episodes. Like you said, with the quartet coming in and making slights all the time. And then Zirconian coming in making rude ass comments and stuff, and them finding out about themselves. So we had this impending doom sense that we've seen before. Oh crap, we know how this is going to end. And then it doesn't. I mean, it does, and then it doesn't. And then it's like, it's peaceful, and it gives us an ease, and we're like, they deserved this peace. And that's why it feels so good.
Yeah, that's it. That's the difference. It feels like they deserve the peace that they're getting. I think that's the biggest feeling difference, because to me, they feel like 3 separate characters in the manga versus the anime. There's no way that you can tell me that, like, it's just for some reason a harder time connecting to them.
I appreciate that what they did in the movie, even though it was so short for them to try it. That was them taking what they knew they did right about the 90s anime and plopping some of that extra empathy into a thing that we know wasn't going to really work out. But they're like, look, we learned you guys like these characters, so we'll give them a second. Bam.
Yep. Yeah, because look at the difference in this images, like here, and then the emotion in this one image makes me want to cry.
Yeah.
Look at how soft these 2 are for fish.
These 3.
I love everything about this. I love everything.
They're my ship, all 3 of them. They're a throuple.
Oh, I ship
Hawkeye
them.
loves MILFs. If you don't believe me, go and watch every target that Hawkeye gives. He likes MILFs.
It's okay.
He's the one who goes after Usagi's mom.
He does go after her mom. I remember that episode.
Her mom is hot, so
MILFs.
Oh my gosh. All right. And then let's move right along to the Amazon Quartet, because they are a 180 again in manga versus anime.
The anime does not give the girls a redemption.
No, which is weird, because usually you would think it'd be the opposite.
Because the anime does not reveal them as Chibi Usa's Sailor Scouts in the 90s anime.
Yep.
They are not revealed as her scouts. And the question becomes, is the reason they weren't was because at that time, the manga and the anime were coming out almost right on top of each other. So it, like, what planning direction, depending on what was already out in the manga, could have screwed that up essentially. But yeah, they don't get a redemption in the 90s.
Do they come back in the stars when they're supposed to?
Are we going to see them in stars? That's a good question.
No, you don't see the girls.
I was wondering. I couldn't remember.
No. I think they just... I don't remember what happens. Like,
I can't
I
remember.
think Queen Helenia does something to them.
Because, and here we go, because they were another set of villains who, not that they were really, their whole thing is, no, we ain't growing up. That's for clowns. And as long as we keep staying with Helenia, we're not going to have to grow up. That's dumb stuff. Why would I do that?
How long was that chant stuck in your head as a kid?
It's in my head right now. It's in my head right now.
I found out what happened.
Like, I'm sorry, but that chant... Okay, go ahead.
They're walking off into the sunset. I see that scene in my dreams.
So for the Amazon Quartet, they decide to leave quietly without a farewell to the Sailor Senshi, saying they might see the Sailor Senshi again sometime, and that is their style of a farewell. So they kind of just exit stage left.
So they yeeted themselves out of the plot. I think that's probably the wisest thing the writer could have done. If, like you said, if the issue was that it was coming out too on top of itself, couldn't really kill them, couldn't really change them. So let's just send them off because they're fan favorites.
Well, that's why Sailor Stars is so wildly different than the, and so is the Helenia arc. It's because they didn't have certain things.
It's going to be interesting, because do you want to talk about Queen Helenia?
Are we moving on from the Amazon Quartet, or are we going to finish them?
Maybe time-wise.
Well, what else?
Because they do have redemption. And there's a reason in the manga.
But that's the hard part about it too, because is their redemption really their redemption, Or is their redemption based on the fact that they were never actually supposed to be bad, but they were forced into it, like other characters who had been forced to be bad?
Well, it's just
Ooh.
like Sailor Saturn with Mistress Nine.
Right. Or like
Because
in
they're Sailor Scouts and they were
Mamoru,
captured
whenever
Sailor
he
Scouts. They were awakened before they were supposed to be. They do mention it in the 90s anime that the Amazon Quartet was awakened before they were supposed to be, but they never tell you why that's significant. The Amazon Quartet are actually Chibiusa's Sailor Scouts.
my girls.
We are going to be able to see them. There they are. Very excited because we are going to get to see them in Cosmos because they do show up in the future to pick up Chibiusa to go fight Galaxia. So I'm very
Cool.
excited.
They said, get in, losers. We're going to go fight chaos.
Exactly. Literally. But they are Chibiusa's scouts because Chibiusa gets her own set. They are not supposed to be from the Amazon. They are supposed to be meteorites.
Yeah.
That's where they get their powers from.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing that's because Chibiusa is technically like the pink moon. You know, when we have a pink supermoon, like
Right.
that's supposed to be Chibiusa.
Mm.
So I'm guessing that's where they went with the girls. Like they came from moons, essentially.
Right.
They were probably revolving around something. But they do get a redemption in a sense that they get healed, their
Right.
powers are restored, and they actually go back to sleep because they tell Chibiusa, we will see you in the future. This is not our time to be awakened as scouts.
Yes. Which, how interesting is that?
Yeah.
We're not supposed to be awake yet. We're supposed to be dapping.
That's some underworld stuff.
No, they have a great redemption, but it's almost like, but like you said, it's like for all the horrible things they did, but they didn't do it willingly. They were brainwashed.
Right. So we just have to automatically.
What's in your mouth?
Oh, yeah. The speed by which they scrambled. That's
The way she ran.
That's how.
But she ran right into my kid.
That's so
The kid, he goes,
But yeah, that's how I feel about it because I love them. But even when they were bad, I loved them. Right? So you didn't have to worry that much about making me come around to their plight if they decided that they were just going to help out and be good. They were doing bad stuff, but they were also just ha-haing around.
they were
And
brainwashed children. That's what they were.
Literally.
And you
in a
understood
way-
that, hey, they're doing bad stuff, but they've never been told that stuff's actually bad.
What
Like
were you
they
gonna
haven't
say?
been reprimanded for it.
Right.
No, but also one of the most impactful moments I think is actually when they find out who the other are. Because you actually see Usagi mad, which does not happen very often, like in this scene. Like her face is in shadows. Like you can tell she is angry about, and this is when the Amazon Quartet went nuts and like, went on like a rampage and had bodies everywhere and was just like throwing everything everywhere. And like Usagi,
Oh yeah, they
can't
were just
believe-
like mass knocking mirrors out of people.
yeah, like it was bad. But I love the way that they handle this in the show. Let's see if it plays.
Uh-oh.
I'm like, yeah, Usagi's so mad. She's like, and we're transforming in front of them. We're about to kick their ass. I don't think the sound is playing.
That's okay. There's not much happens here.
I also don't hear Michi.
Oh, no.
Michi, your mic went out again.
Yeah.
Nope. Not the mic. Because
I
Michi
know.
touched something.
Oop, you hear me
There
now?
you go.
Yeah.
You're back.
Yes. Okay. And then I was gonna say, and then do you guys remember in the 90s the deep dub they had the Let's Fight song?
Yes.
Well,
I forgot it.
Let me put it a few minutes. This quality is not that great. Beautiful. You know it.
I'm shocked.
Well, I don't know why I don't remember this very much. Even though I have this on DVDs.
I was a fan of Let's Fight. I always loved that song.
If it wasn't on Luna Rock, I didn't know it as well.
Oh my God. But no, something about how they changed the music. They had something specific. It gave a different gravity to that like situation. You know what I mean? So that was just something I thought that the anime did really well. And yes, we do need to get me a different mic location.
Because apparently it's just like, I'm done.
It never does this. Tonight it's just like fighting me. Okay, but anything else about the Amazon Quartet? All right, Selene.
Okay.
It is time for your favorite.
So I find it interesting because Nehelenia does get a redemption, a significant redemption. She comes back. She's the only villain who comes back, like right after they've completed with her. Now Galaxia is the one who wakes her up, and they just needed filler episode before they start Stars. But it is one of the best, what is it, 4 or 5 episodes?
Yeah.
Some of the best episodes in the entire freaking series is Nehelenia coming back. I find it interesting for Nehelenia because there's a huge contrast on who she is in the anime, in the 90s anime, compared to who she is in the manga. In the manga, we don't have much about her. We just know she is the woman who's in the mirror mirror that sits in the fucking Moon Kingdom in a very important room for the queen.
Yes.
And that Queen Serenity, so Mama Serenity, Serenity the First, knows who the hell Nehelenia is. There's clear recognition between them. Now, a lot of theories, and we've said it too, is that Nehelenia could have possibly been the dark side of the Moon's queen, or she was a reflection of Queen Serenity herself. Queen Serenity is the light, Nehelenia is the dark. And you do see when she gets sealed in this mirror, sealed back up, because she steps through when Queen Serenity's holding baby Serenity, and she just walks through this mirror and shows up, and you got the baby scouts, and Queen Serenity has to put her ass back in the mirror. And we're so sorry if you can hear Stella. She is throwing a temper tantrum and yelling at Loki. I swear to God, I don't think she's a lab. I think she's part husky with the way she argues with you. Can you hear her?
Not really.
She's she sounds like
Don't worry
Chewbacca
about it.
from
Don't
Star
worry
Wars.
about it.
No, I
Don't worry
can't
about it.
hear
I'm
her.
just-
Don't worry.
You got it.
No, we get to see it in Crystal, how she first appears. There's nothing else about her. We don't know anything about her. She doesn't have, there's no backstory. It's all what we assume that she is. We had another theory where she could have been the actual Queen of the Moon before Queen Serenity showed up. And she got overthrown. And when she appears back, you see her she was already evil. That is what she's meant to be. She's meant to be evil. She starts out evil when you first see her. And so when you switch to the 90s anime, we find out more about Queen Nehelenia. We find out she had a kingdom that she ran, and that the Dead Moon Circus is her subjects, that she stole all of their dream mirrors and turned them into the Dead Moon Circus.
Yes.
Now, in the manga, we don't know how she ended up with the Dead Moon Circus, just that the Dead Moon Circus ended up with Nehelenia's mirror. There's no indicator how how this all happened. Now, like I said, in the 90s anime, the Dead Moon Circus is her dead kingdom, because she killed them all for youth. And you find out that she was a very loved queen. She ended up with this mirror that had zirconia in it. So zirconia is some say that zirconia is supposed to be chaos that infects Queen Nehelenia. And in the anime, what happens is the mirror shows Nehelenia as old, and she doesn't want that, so she ends up killing her entire kingdom. And so you don't feel for her too much in the beginning, but you start to feel for her as you get a sense, but you only find out more about what happened in her kingdom in the 6-episode arc. You find out more about her. You find out that when she was a princess, people just worshipped her, but she didn't have any real friends. I don't know that story.
I don't know that story either, lady.
I'd have to look it up. So in the anime, it's interesting that she gets a redemption. So she doesn't end up being killed. She crawls back into her mirror
Mm,
at the end of Supers
yes.
when she is being defeated in quotations. She throws Chibiusa off of the top of the Dead Moon Circus, throws her, and Usagi leaps off to save Chibiusa.
Yes.
And so Nehelenia crawls back into the mirror because she looks like Zirconia. She looks mummified. So she
Mhm.
crawls back into the mirror because she knows the mirror will keep her young forever. And she's literally just going to go back to sleep. And I was like, fair enough.
Yeah.
But Galaxia wakes her back up and is like, hey, by the way, the bitches you thought you killed, they're not dead. And then, and Galaxia actually shows Nehelenia her dream mirror.
That's right.
And what Nehelenia does is she shatters her dream mirror and the pieces fall to earth. So please watch that part. It's one of the best. Like I said, I've talked to friends and even they're like, it's one of the best freaking just little tiny arcs.
Really
Because
is.
first of all, the art is the animation is right before Stars starts, but they had the animators for Stars doing it. So it's chef's kiss, first of all. Because I think Stars has the best animation out of all the Sailor Moons. But we do get a redemption for Nehelenia. We do get the scouts healing her, and she is transported back to her kingdom as a little kid. So the redemption ends with her waking up as if she had fallen asleep on her throne, and one of her subjects saying, "Would you like me to read you? You've fallen asleep," and Nehelenia walking away, and she pauses and she turns and she's like, "Would you read me a bedtime story?" And it's showing that she's shifting from that lonely child to reaching out to other people, the people around her, to surround herself instead of just cutting herself off.
Yeah, it's showing the
I
character
loved it.
growth.
She had character growth. I don't know if you guys knew this, but Nehelenia is my favorite villain. And I think it's because of her redemption. The way she's redeemed, and she was actually given a chance to relive her life. No one else gets that. She gets reincarnated to the point where she needed to change what she was doing in order to live a better life.
Yes.
No one else gets that. Not even the scouts. They just wake up and the time has gone on. People are still dead who are dead. But yeah.
No, that's a really interesting way to look at it. I really think you you did a perfect encapsulation of her story. And then let's look over at what Loki was saying about Nehelenia might be based on the theory on Countess Elizabeth Bathory. Bathory de Loki says Countess Elizabeth Bathory was a Hungarian noblewoman and alleged serial killer from the family of Bathory, who owned land in the Kingdom of Hungary. Sorry if I mispronounced again. Hungary. Okay, cool. Bathory and 4 of her servants were accused of torturing and killing hundreds of girls. Stories about hundreds of girls, and then where does it? And women
It
between.
doesn't show the whole thing. It's too long.
Got it. Hundreds of women and girls between 1590 and 1610. Stories about Bathory quickly became part of national folklore, legends describing her vampiric tendencies, such as the tale she bathed in the blood of virgins to retain her youth, were generally recorded.
Oh, that lady. Yeah. Okay, the bloodbath thing is the thing that I knew.
Same. I didn't recognize the name until then.
So on that theory, wow. Okay, so on that, there's supposedly some. I have to go back and where I have to find this. Something to do with some way that even Helenia's design is, or something to do with one of her kingdom things that is supposed to have some kind of a little bit of an homage to that. But I'm not quite sure what it is. But I've heard this theory before.
I think it's the stealing of all of her subjects' mirrors to keep her young forever.
Oh, and that's the blood.
Yeah. Because I said, the mirror shows her suddenly old when she's not. And she panics because all she has is her beauty and youth.
Mm-hmm.
That's what, because that's what in the anime and the 90s anime, you can hear the people saying, "Oh, our queen is so young and beautiful."
Yeah, she gets obsessed just a
So
little
she
bit.
becomes
She gets
obsessed
obsessed.
with her youth and beauty, and the mirror whispers that to her essentially. And
Mhm.
Zirconia is like I said, Zirconia is the one in the mirror as a representative of chaos. But I'm glad she gets a redemption. But like I said, in the manga, we don't know where she's from. We just know that Mama Serenity put her ass in that mirror.
Yes.
And I believe they show that mirror in Crystal Tokyo. That mirror still
Mhm.
exists.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't think about that.
I believe there's like a glimpse of the mirror or something like that. But I know that like in the manga, it was like there's a flashback where Serenity was not like Princess Serenity was not allowed to go near that room in that mirror
Mm.
because there was a scary lady in the mirror.
Ooh, that's interesting. All right, and then Fox, do you have any last thought, or do you have thoughts or anything on Queen Helena?
No, I think Selene got it pretty spot on.
No, Selene
I
has
love
a
her so
passion.
much.
I
do have a passion because this is my only Nehelenia piece that I own.
Mhm.
And I'm very upset about it because Nehelenia, even after the Eternal movie, only got like 3 acrylic stands. And I'm like, where's the rest of it?
That's so
Mhm.
sad. All right, and then so anybody else from the Supers season that you guys want to talk about?
What I can think of.
Well, all right. So then we don't have a ton of time to go over the next section. So do you guys want to go over that section, or do you want to talk about the desperation and the yearning for life and their reasoning?
I don't think there's any desperation in Stars, though. Galaxia's not desperate for power. She has power.
Fair.
She's just toying with people, to be honest. If you look at manga Stars,
Yes.
Maleficent instead of
um,
the evil queen?
Yeah, actually, I can see where that Nehling is based on that.
Maleficent, yeah, I could see her based on Maleficent. For really quick on Stars, manga Stars, I don't see the desperation. You don't. It's you saw Galaxia disgusted because she lived on a trash planet and she decided that she was like, fuck this, I'm leaving. I'm gonna go conquer the universe and I'm gonna fuck some bitches up and make people follow me. And that's what you see when she's a villain. Because there is no desperation. You do see almost like a moment of vulnerability. Not really. She insults Usagi when she does it because Eternal Sailor Moon tries to save Galaxy and Galaxy is like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Yes.
You think I did this on a whim? You know how long I've been working on this? You know how many people I've snatched?
She was like, "Why? What are you doing? I don't care." But Galaxia does have you almost get a redemption for Galaxia in the manga because you see Galaxia have a moment because Eternal Sailor Moon tries to sell. Okay, because Eternal Sailor Moon saves her, and she's like, "Maybe you're the one who's actually going to fix this." Like she says that she's like, "Maybe you can do something." And then in the 90s anime, she actually gets a redemption because, like I said, it was literally side by side. So the manga chapter came out before the last episode,
Mhm.
like a week or two before the last episode aired. So they were fucking winging it.
Yeah. And then Fox, did you want to real quick take your leave and then let us know?
Oh, yeah. Really quick, though, just in case this is a final note. Exactly agreeing with you, Selene. I don't think that any of the desperation is coming from Galaxia. She is so in control. And I think that's why we love her so much because she comes in with this really amazing, I won't even call it like a militant presence. She's acquired this army of her star seeds, and she's gotten her Senshi, and she said, "We're rolling up on these hoes. We taking everybody's power because I can." And there's a sense of I have been downtrodden, and I will never go back to that. And that's a sense of security that she has that I think is why she presents in such a powerful way that makes us love her so much. And it's like we know that what she's doing is darn awful, but if she succeeded, it would be
She killed Mamoru right in front of Usagi.
Right. So much, in fact, that the girl blacks out and doesn't remember it for half the season.
Yes.
She takes everything away. She did that. Everything that every other person in these shows had been trying to do, she did that. She put her in a sense that she felt completely alone and turned all of her loved ones against her because that's the power that she wielded. But like you said, in the anime, when she's giving this time, she's given this understanding. We understand her motivations and why the clinging on. She knows that she's powerful. And so clinging to her own power is what grants her the ability to keep herself safe, to build this empire that she wants, that she thinks is going to keep her from ever having to feel that kind of pain again. It's more so, I think, the Tenyanko and the other Senshis who are fighting under her. They give me more of a little bit of a sense of desperation, but I think everybody in Stars is, not everybody, but I think we've polished the redemption versus FU type mentality with who has what and who doesn't. Galaxia's just a bad bitch.
And
Like,
for
it's just-
Galaxia, like I said, because the manga was coming out pretty much like right on top of the anime,
Right.
which I think was a mistake. But the mistake gave us this beautiful season. You do start feeling for Galaxia because they make Chibi her star seed, which is not a thing. Chibi is Sailor Cosmos.
Yeah.
And you have her have the star seed that she sent out to ensure chaos didn't corrupt it, because Galaxia is supposed to be the Sailor Scout who defeated chaos and took it into herself in the anime. And so you feel for her. You feel for this fallen warrior who is corrupted because she sacrificed herself. She became a martyr, essentially. But this martyr took the power into herself and stayed alive, but it completely corrupted her.
Yeah.
She's now housing evil.
Definitely.
And then you get this redemption arc where Usagi frees her, and that's when you get her, the thing exploding and her having the long hair again. And so Galaxia gets redeemed in the 90s anime.
Yes, really much so, in a beautiful way.
In the manga, she dies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chaos killed her. Chaos is like, bitch. Literally.
All right. You've served me long enough. And with that note,
The
I think I've
ultimate.
served you long enough.
All right. Fox is going to take a quick break real quick, but we're going to keep going. But yeah, no, like Galaxia genuinely, like, can you hear me still?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. My camera's messing up a bit today. Yeah, it's one of those things where Galaxia, I say she is the most efficient villain and one of the best villains since the Doom and Gloom girls. That is who she reminds me of, is the Doom and Gloom girls.
Because she's just like, and you're dead.
Yeah. Like she is just genuinely, she's like remorseless. Is that a word? That's a word.
She has no remorse.
Yes, thank you. And I just think it's so interesting because she is the ultimate, like, big bad, and then she has such a sad manga ending with Galaxia, because I don't know about you, but I liked her redemption in the anime.
I found it interesting, to say the least. And it gives that different, well, because you don't get Cosmos in the 90s, which I've voiced my problems with Cosmos in previous episodes. I think it's an interesting, the way the manga does stuff, especially in Galaxia's arc. When we get Cosmos and we get Chibi in the Galaxy Cauldron, I feel that Naoko left some major plot holes for she's never fixed, especially with Cosmos saying she is Sailor Moon, and I'm like, how? Because you said before when she became Neo Queen Serenity, she gave it up. So you're telling me that Usagi's still alive somewhere down the line and she picks up the mantle again? Because that's not what you said. Like, she gives up her senshi powers, and that's why Chibi Usa becomes the next Moon Scout. Chibi
Yes.
Usa is the next Sailor Moon.
Yes. Like, that's it, and everything makes sense.
Yes. So I like the way they did Chibi in 90s anime. I appreciate that. I love Cosmos, don't get me wrong. But there was a lot wrong, and I think I would have preferred a mix between the 90s and the manga. Especially with the redemption arc for Galaxia. I mean, I wouldn't have cared if Galaxia died in the manga kind of thing.
Yeah. You don't think you would miss her?
No, if she could, I mean, she was in the way of chaos. It's her own damn fault. I don't think I would miss her, but I think it would have been better to have Chibi Chibi have been her star seed, essentially. I like that. I think because they didn't have the Star Gardeners and stuff, I think that's also why they did it, because they said Galaxia was guarding the star seeds.
Oh, that's right, whereas the Star Gardeners do it in the manga. You're right. Okay, so that is an interesting having to meld characters to make the anime work is really, I think, what sets Stars apart from its manga counterpart.
And I think they had to meld it because, again, it was coming out on top of each other, and we didn't see the Star Gardeners until the last 3 chapters, and they had already had the setup that they had in the anime.
Yeah. Which is just crazy.
And they did a good job, like I said. They do a good job when they had to improvise and change it, they made it work.
Yes. And they did it well. All right. Anything else you want to say before we wrap up the episode?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. All right. And looks like Fox might be able to join us back. Yep. Coming back. Welcome back.
Hi, thank you. Sorry about
All
that.
right. No worries. Any last thoughts you have before we finish up the episode?
On the overarching theme, or about like stars in specific?
Whatever you got in your head.
Sailor Moon is about second chances. And if you care about people and you have love in your heart, then you deserve a second chance if you're willing to make the change.
Yeah. Sailor Moon
said.
Sailor Moon does teach a lot about redemption. I agree.
For the show.
Yes.
Yes.
And I think that's
other scouts.
Yeah. I think I'm grateful that, I would say that I got into them both at the same time. I was like 5 and when I watched a VHS for the first time, and then maybe I was 8 or 9 when I finally got my hands on a manga. And the things that I notice about it as an adult, the darker things or the more harsher realities about the manga, don't take away from the fact that I got the chance to grow up with an anime that was like, yeah, this is that yearning and that craving and that love and that want for life. That's what it's all about. And that's what Usagi is all about. And it's, the chance to live and the chance to have a life that you want and to be happy and experience love. And that's just like the Messiah she is. They said it, not me. They said it, not me.
Definitely. No, it is. It's the yearning for life, and they all want to fight for something, whether good or bad.
Yeah.
All right. You want to bring us out, Selene?
Okay. All right, guys. First of all, of course, thank you for joining us. This brings us to the end of our show. This was episode 12 of season 2, Redemption vs. Desperation and Villains. We also want to thank our guest, Simone. Fox, is it Promenade or Promenade?
It technically is Promenade, but I answered to both.
Okay, Promenade, because I was like, Promenade?
Yes.
Thank you for joining us today for our mini mayhem.
Thank you for having me.
As always, our fellow minis, make sure to follow us on all of our socials. You can find those in our link tree in our description. And don't forget to join us next Saturday as we go on another Moony adventure, 7 to 10 p.m. EST. And then, of course, I'm Selene. behind me is my ridiculous collection that I keep adding to.
Oh, hang on. Let me show the full glory.
Brilliant.
Amazing.
I am actually have 2 more cases that I just bought. There will be a brand new case hopefully soon when I'm not getting ready for my big vendor event tomorrow. You guys can see my social. We're actually going to be popping the other because we don't have my shop on here, but I make Mooney stuff out of resin. These will, if they don't sell, will be up on the thing. I really like how this one turned out. And then Susagi's blanket.
So cool.
But yeah, I love making stuff, and then I also collect. Like I said, peep the socials. I haven't been streaming on Twitch because I've been so busy, but you can find me here on Twitch at Selene_Laufeyson.
Okay, all right. And then Simone, if you would like to go ahead and would like to plug your one day I'm going to learn how to. One
It's
day.
Selene again.
There we go. Okay, so go ahead, plug yourself, plug your stuff.
Yeah. Instagram, it's a Fox with 2 X's promenade. Think about the Laufeyson. I have my art page where I also draw some Mooney fan art. I'm not notoriously good at doing fan art, but I'm doing more of it lately. Links in there, and my Twitter and all of my socials are pretty much the same thing. So if you're interested, feel free to follow that, and I can see you on the Mooney side.
Hey, thank you for being on.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Loki wanted me to show the sticker that
Okay,
Loki made.
let me push it. Yeah.
You did a very good job.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else you want to show before I make you smaller?
But I also do other magical girl stuff, which is Cardcaptor Sakura.
Yes. So good. So pretty. All right. Okie dokie. And then, as always, guys, I'm not going to even try to make myself big. I've done it enough. I have been your host, Michi. You can find my personal socials at MEW21, mostly _cosplay. For Eternal Mooncast, you can find older episodes of our show wherever you listen to podcasts. There are 10 episodes to season 1 out now, everywhere podcasts are available, and on YouTube. We appreciate any likes, comments, follows, or however you would like to support our show in your way. As a quick reminder, these have been our personal opinions, and we celebrate and respect Mooney opinions here. We are working on the show to be a place for Moonies to come together and discuss their theories and love and passion for Sailor Moon. Remember, as Sailor Pluto once said, holding you close and giving you kisses are the only symbols of love. Small lady, quietly watching from afar is a kind of love too. Have a good night, everybody.